Hey everybody, thank you for joining me for another episode. I'm really excited to share with you my 5 steps to transforming your life, to help you to create positive change, to help you to create positive habits and positive routines in your life. When I had my breakdown, it was a real, you know, it was a sit up and take notice moment. It made me, as awful as it was, it made me have a real think about how I was living, what I was doing, and how I was getting through each day. And I do believe that my breakdown was that point where my body said, enough now, you've got to make some changes. You've got to do something different because this isn't working and it's just not good for you. And so that's kind of what it forced me to do, because if you know my story, I ended up in bed with depression and anxiety, and then I was housebound. I didn't even leave the house for 6 months. And so I had plenty of time to kind of, really sit and think about this stuff. And of course, my journey then began in releasing anxiety and helping me with these strategies. And so I guess one of the I guess one of the biggest things that I did was to actually look at how I started my day and how I ended the day, because I wasn't sleeping very well for a start. So we kind of start with the end of the day. I wasn't sleeping. So I was continuously tired. My brain was just in overdrive and I was just constantly, that overthinking. You kind of feel tired, you go to bed, and then your brain just goes, oh, actually, hang on a minute, let me just, start thinking about a million things. And so, of course, I was waking up tired, exhausted, anxious, maybe kind of thinking, oh God, do you think I did upset somebody then? Or have I done this? Because my brain's continuously told me through the night all of these things. So then I'm worrying about it in the morning. And so it's a perpetual circle of just tiredness and just negativity, really. And so part of my journey was looking at how I started my day and how I ended my day. And I do this in my coaching. I do this with my one-to-one coaching. And so I ask my ladies to just have a think about and write down the morning routine. And that's what I did. So I looked at, you know, from opening my eyes to like starting the day, what things did I do? And just by doing that, and also making a note of how those things made me feel. And so, of course, identifying, and I like to use a scale, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being feel amazing, 1 being I don't feel very good at all. That activity, where am I on that scale? So, of course, I realised a lot of the things that I was doing, they were all not serving me very well. I wasn't feeling great doing them, but I was still doing them. And of course, when you think about it, it makes logical sense that if you're waking up and immediately, in the first half an hour even of your morning, you're doing things that are dropping your energy levels or your enthusiasm or your motivation or anything like that. I mean, you're starting off the day not a great on a great foot, really, and it kind of makes sense, doesn't it? But sometimes we need to just have a bit of a stop and think, right, hang on a minute. And so straight away, just by writing it down, I could see, right, well, maybe if I don't do that, or do I need to do that as soon as I open my eyes? Do I need to do that before I've even had a cup of tea? Some of the things, yes, I did need to do, but do I need to do them then? Can I not just do it a little bit later? Maybe wait till I've woken up first, or, And so it kind of gave me the opportunity to shift, like, maybe I don't need to do that at all. I'm taking that out then. What can I replace it with that's going to be a bit better for me, that's going to serve me better? And so I jiggled it and I had a play with it and I tried different things. And eventually I settled on a routine on a morning that really helped me then as I started my day. I started to feel good. And I did the same at night time. I looked at my nighttime routine So how am I ending the day? So I wasn't even looking at that point what's going on in the middle. This was how am I ending the day? How am I getting to sleep? Or how am I finding a way that's going to be conducive to a good night's sleep? And how do I make sure I get a good quality sleep? So of course, once I was sorting out my sleep pattern and my sleep routine, the mornings were already starting better because I wasn't waking up feeling exhausted. And so, do you see, sometimes we just need to shine a bit of a spotlight and just to have a think about. And there may be things during your day. This doesn't have to be morning and nighttime routines, but there may be just some things that you do during the day. It might be things that you do at work. It might be getting the kids ready for school. I had a lady once who the school, the mornings were just a nightmare. And so we looked at, well, so what is your routine on a morning then, trying to get the kids ready for school? What can we change? What can you do to help it better? I mean, obviously they still have to get up, they still have to have breakfast. And so, between the two of us, we came up with some changes that she implemented and tried just to see if it could go better. One of them was get the uniform ready the night before and have them all laid out. So as the kids were getting up, they had the clothes there and they could just get on them. The breakfast table was already set up for them. So she wasn't rushing about so much. So do you see, by just shining a bit of a spotlight and questioning, like, is this working? Does it not work? Why doesn't it work? What would work? You can make a whole difference. And so here's my 5 steps for creating this positive change. So first of all, identify what it is that you want to change. What is the goal? And then break that down into bite-sized pieces. Because sometimes if it's too big, you just think, oh, well, I'll never be able to achieve that. So I'm not even, and you just get overwhelmed and you just won't even bother. But just break it down. And so, like for me, I think I focused on my morning routine first. In fact, no, I didn't. I focused on the nighttime routine first because I realised that that was going to be more helpful because I was going to get to sleep then. So I wouldn't be as tired in the morning. Then I looked at my morning routine. And so just break it down. And then what do you need to do each day that's going to help you achieve that? So is it, like it was in my case, a new daily routine? Do I need to swap things round? Do you need to do things different? Perhaps you need to do some more personal development. Perhaps you need to, bring in mindfulness exercises. And I talk about this all the time in this channel. So please feel free to, have a look at the other videos. And of course, there's going to be more of these to come. So, are there other things that you can do to help you create that more positive environment for yourself? Do you need to perhaps do some more exercise? Because as we know, exercise is really good for us. Not only is it good for us physically, but it's really good for our mental health, our hormonal health, our gut health, and our cognitive health. So perhaps you might identify, and it was one of mine, that yeah, I'm not moving around so much on a morning. I mean, predominantly my work involves me sitting at a desk, so it was kind of like, I need to find a way of moving around a bit. And your diet as well. I talk about lifestyle and your diet all the time, and it's so important because it's like pieces of the jigsaw that this is your holistic well-being. It all plays a part. If you're not looking after your diet, if you're not doing the right things kind of nutrition wise and diet wise and lifestyle wise, that is going to have a knock-on effect anyway. Again, if you've watched other videos of mine, you'll understand that poor diet affects your serotonin production. Poor diet will affect your mood levels because of the relationship between your gut and your brain. So it's really important just to have a look. Imagine putting a spotlight on these little areas and thinking, what is my diet like? Are there any changes I could do there? And encourage a positive mindset. Focus on the future, not looking back. And that's what I had to do. And I struggled with that at first, but it was all about, okay, because then I keep thinking, yeah, but I can't sleep. No, that was the old story. I'm focusing on getting a good night's sleep. And how am I doing that? And I was really, and it's not going to happen overnight. But I'm prepared to make those changes, and I'm prepared to do this, and I'm prepared to put in the work to make it happen. Find a support network as well. It could be a friend or a family member, an accountability partner. I use trackers. I do like a tick box. I'm not going to lie. And I use them now, even though I've created this really strong now daily routines. And I've got these daily habits that I've used them for years because I'd identified when I did this that they work, they help, they serve me well. And I still do them to this day, kind of, you know, I don't know, 6 years on, I'm still using the same habits because they work. And so I have a tick box. And every day, because I like ticking them off, because it gives me a sense of achievement, it gives me a sense of pride, and I can see I'm on track. I'm doing the right things, you know. But you might find, you know, find what works for you. That's the key. Find what works for you, but have a way of keeping yourself accountable. My husband was amazing, of course he is. But do you know, so it was kind of sharing with him what I was wanting to achieve and how I was going to do it. He gave me his thoughts and his inputs and suggested some things as well, which was amazing. And then, you know, so I would say to him, like, oh, and I've done this today and I've done this, and I didn't have to, but I did it and I wanted to do it. And knowing that I was going to do it made me do it. Back in the early days, where there were some days I just think, oh, I can't be bothered, and what's the point? I think, no, 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 because I've promised myself I'm going to do this and it's going to be for the good, you know. Which leads me nicely onto step 5, allow for setbacks, but celebrate the wins as well. There are going to be days, you know, where it just doesn't go quite as well. One of my biggest downfalls was reaching for the phone. And even now, sometimes I slip in and I think, I've done it recently where I think, you know what? I'm grabbing the phone too early on a morning. I'm staying on it too late on a night time. And I've identified that. And now I'm doing something about it. And so I accept that it's going to happen. But the key is understanding then, like, oh, I can feel there's a slip. I can feel, yeah, it's all, you know, it's starting to change a bit. I'm not starting the day feeling great. Why not? I know I've done this. I've done it many times. I've done it recently. Okay, I know what it is. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave. I don't need to check that the minute I open my eyes. And I have been doing that. And it doesn't serve me, because then scrolling through social media and sometimes there's people moaning and things like, you know, and you just think, feeling a bit rubbish before I've even stepped out of bed, you know? And so allow for that though, and don't beat yourself up over it. This kind of this journey to creating these positive changes and these positive habits isn't a straight line. It's a bit up and down. But the key to remember is, even if you have a setback, you're not starting back where you were. You're a bit further on. And so you know, you might slip back, but you're still not here. You're a little bit further on, and that will happen every time. And it's so important to celebrate the wins, no matter how small. Your brain might even tell you, it's like, oh my god, well done, you know, oh wow, you've, you know, you did a 10-minute walk, woohoo, you know, people are doing that all the time. Doesn't matter, ignore that, celebrate it, because it's really easy not to do these changes. It's really easy, and this is why some people end up doing the same things over and over and over again, even though it makes them unhappy, because they don't make the changes. They're not prepared to feel uncomfortable and make changes. And so if you've decided on these things that you're going to change, these new routines that you're creating perhaps, and you've done it today, that's amazing, because it would have been really easy not to and just continued on the pattern that you were in before. And so thank you for watching. I hope this has really helped. Like I say, these 5 steps are just, they're key, and keep coming back to them. That's the thing. There may be other areas. And again, I had to do this. This wasn't just only for nighttime and morning routine. I've had to do this in how I work, in my, yeah, just the things that I did as part of my business, because I realized that there were some things that I was doing that actually I didn't really enjoy. And you think, oh, actually, yeah, so hang on a minute, do I need to do them, or can I do it differently, you know? And so it's a really, really, really useful exercise. So thank you for watching. If you're enjoying the videos that I share and the tips and the techniques that I'm sharing with you, please subscribe to the channel. It would really help my message to be seen further. I would really, really appreciate that. And of course, share this video with anybody who you feel might be, they might just find it useful. And of course, let me know as well. Let me know yourself. I've been getting some messages. It's incredible from people who are giving me feedback and who are finding the things that I share useful. So I love to hear how the things that I'm sharing are impacting you. And so, yeah, please feel free to reach out and get in touch with me, because I really do love it. And, you know, it helps me to help you. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.